Hello, everybody. I'm Jeannie from Great Lakes Cruise Company, and I'd like to thank you and welcome you to our first virtual cruise night. Joining us today, we're pleased to have Matt Masis from Victory Cruise Lines and Chris Conlon, founder and president of Great Lakes Cruise Company. During the presentation, if you have any questions, you'll be able to post them in the chat box. Because we do have you on mute. You'll also be able to reach out to me directly, and we'll be answering some of the questions later in the program. We're also recording this today, so we'd love to send you the link and you can share it with your friends and family. Now I'd like to introduce Chris Conlon to give you a brief history on Great Lakes Cruise Company.
Well, welcome everyone, and thank you for tuning in for this webinar. Great Lakes Cruise Company is it's a division of our travel agency, which was founded by my father 61 years ago in 1959. You can see some of our original customers behind Jeannie's shoulder there on the wall from some of the group tours that we've been doing for the 60 plus years. So we founded the Great Lakes Cruise Company in 98. And we were working with primarily one ship out of Germany. With the world getting smaller and smaller and avid cruisers looking for new destinations, we knew that the Great Lakes could have some great appeal to a population that's looking for a cruise that's easy to get to, it's close to home, it's safe. And so for the last 20 plus years, we've worked with lots of different ships, and it's been a very exciting ride. And of course, today we all have tremendous pent-up demand to travel, to take a leisure trip. I've taken a couple myself, and I just got to get away. And we don't know what 2021 is going to bring. Is the world going to open up again? But we do know that little by little, domestically and even with Canada, because a lot of what we talk about is cruising in Canadian waters, that's going to free up. So we're based here in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and of course we're surrounded by the Great Lakes. And the appeal of a Great Lakes trip is, fantastic scenic beauty, unusual ports of call in places like Mackinac Island, which is always a real favorite of our cruisers. And of course, during the cruises, people learn a lot about our Great Lakes, the history of the Great Lakes, and how important a role they played in the development of our nation. So as I mentioned, we work with a lot of ships, but tonight we're highlighting one company, and that is Victory Cruise Lines. And with that, I'll pass it back over to Jeannie to introduce Matt.
Well, here is Matt Masis from Victory Cruise Lines, and he is going to give us an overview of Victory Cruise Lines, the itineraries offered on the Great Lakes, some of the amenities on the ships, and also the new health and safety protocols being implemented on the ships. Matt?
All right, well, thanks, Jeannie. Hi, everybody. Jeannie, you see the screen with Victory and our logo and everything. Just want to make sure that's up there for everybody. Well, welcome to the broadcast. What a thrill to be joined by Chris and Jeannie this afternoon or morning, or who knows where you are. You could be watching this in the middle of the night on the rebroadcast when Jeannie sends it to you. But welcome, everyone. So great to be here with you. Victory Cruise Lines is an operation that is near and dear to my heart. It's an operation under the American Queen Steamboat Company, which is our sister company. I've been with the company for about 5 years. An amazing experience both on the Great Lakes and the American rivers that these days, as Chris mentioned, we're not necessarily too certain with what's happening out there, but we do know that we can have an experience that takes us far while staying, relatively close to home. Both the Great Lakes and American Queen and the American rivers are amazing experiences that we're going to focus on the Great Lakes on Victory Cruise Lines today. And the amazing itineraries, the indulgences and amenities, Victory Cruise Lines is really an all-inclusive experience that takes you to all the places that you want to see on the Great Lakes, whether it's the shorter version of the more condensed trip, which is Chicago to Niagara, or you could do all 5 Great Lakes, going from Chicago all the way over to Toronto and even up to Montreal. You know, the Great Lakes are so popular. In fact, I don't know if anyone knows this, they were the final Jeopardy question last night on Jeopardy for all you Jeopardy fans out there last night. So this is a trending thing. If Alex Trebek is talking about it on Jeopardy, then you know it's something fun and exciting. So come home to America, cruise the Great Lakes with us on Victory Cruise Lines. And, you know, it's really an amazing opportunity to see America, see North America and Canada. So Victory Cruise Lines, of course, perhaps not the name that rolls off your tongue when speaking about cruising, whether it's oceans or rivers or lakes, but it really is an immersive, culturally enriching experience no matter which route you take with us on board our Victory ships. You get to see some of these amazing cities. You know, the amazing thing about Victory is that so many of the trips include these stops in each port of call where you're seeing a major destination. You know, some people say, well, I've been to Cleveland before, or I've been to Niagara, but it was for a business conference in 1983, or your cousin's wedding, or bat mitzvah back, you know. So this is a way to truly see the wonders that are surrounding you on the Great Lakes. The Victory experience is luxury, as our package is showing you here. All-inclusive beverages, multiple dining venues. This is really an amazing, culturally immersive experience that takes you very far on a small ship luxury cruising. So without further ado, let's talk about what's included with your Victory cruise. So no matter where you go on the Great Lakes, some of the other itineraries, the standard inclusions are across the board included, and it's pretty encompassing, all inclusive mostly. So every cruise begins with your pre-cruise hotel stay. So when you're in Chicago, you're staying right downtown at Navy Pier. Now, this pre-cruise hotel stay allows you to see the best sights and sounds of those major destinations, whether it starts in Chicago or Milwaukee, Niagara, Toronto, Montreal. You get a day in town to see the best of these amazing destinations that are so unique and so enriching. Now, that pre-cruise hotel stay also includes breakfast complimentary in the morning of your embarkation day, porterage of your luggage from your hotel room to the vessel, and of course, we'll transport you by motor coach complimentary from the hotel to the vessel for your embarkation. Again, included with every Victory Cruise Line journey out there. So a great opportunity to start your journey in comfort and in class. Now, of course, cruising is not cruising without cuisine. Now, of course, you're going to see some of the amazing regionally inspired culinary delights that our food and culinary team has crafted for you. So, of course, the Great Lakes seafood, I mean, all of the regional catches, fresh catches of the day, but you're also going to see some of that classic cruise fare staples like surf and turf and lobster night. It's all there for you. Now, the amazing thing about Victory is that even though this is a small ship, each of our Victory vessels has an alternative dining venue, so you can pick and choose where you want to have your meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And we also craft special dietary menu items. Not only are gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan, vegetarian, sugar-free. I mean, if it's your dietary need, necessity, or preference, we can actually craft menu items for you, or these items are actually included throughout the menu at each meal. So you can actually order something, a sugar-free dessert that's on the menu. You can order some of the soups are made with a cashew or almond cream for those of you who have a dairy allergy or restriction. So it's really amazing that you can have these experiences that don't limit your opportunities. Speaking of limited, what's not limited is the beverages. All-inclusive beverages, soft drinks, water, coffees, teas, cocktails, beer and wine, well drinks, all included with your cruise fare. So a Bloody Mary at breakfast, and maybe a beer out on the deck for lunch, and a Manhattan at showtime or at dinner. This is an amazing inclusion. And again, the value, of course, for those of you who've been avid cruisers, been on many cruises on oceans or rivers elsewhere, you know the cost of having unlimited beverages is quite high, almost as high as the cruise fare sometimes. So this is a great amenity for Victory Cruise Line guests. And of course, look, we love dinner and your show. We are so happy to have onboard entertainment, both an in-house team of musicians who play theme nights from country western to 50s sock hop. We also have guest entertainers who join us as well. So again, leaving Cleveland, we've got entertainers who are curated from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Leaving Detroit, we've got a Motown tribute show to really immerse you in the musical culture of the areas you were traveling. Now, our entertainment is not only song and dance; it's also through our enrichment program. Now, those of you who want to experience and learn about the destinations and the history of lake travel and river travel, this is our onboard enrichment program is full of guest speakers who really, whether they're from the local universities or municipal historical societies, from the Grand Hotel at Mackinac Island. I mean, there's so many different speakers who come on and really engage our guests with the cultural immersive nature of the environment that you're traveling. So enrichment also included, takes place in the lounge, and really an amazing experience in itself. Oops, I dropped my headphone there. Again, we talk about all inclusive. When you go on the oceans and you go on the rivers overseas, the shore excursions, you have to pick, you have to choose, you have to pay. That's not the case here on Victory Cruise Line. So each day there is an included shore excursions, and it varies. Sometimes we have our signature hop on, hop off program that we came to be so well known for on the American rivers through American Queen Steamboat Company. A hop on, hop off tour where you can visit different small attractions throughout some of the towns, or well curated experiences that take you up close and personal and intimate with all the best that there is to see. Now, this is, of course, a photograph of the carriage ride on Mackinac Island. So this is really an amazing experience. Detroit, you'll go to the Motown Museum. Just Niagara, you can go on the Hornblower Catamaran. I mean, there's really so much exciting things to do, and you can choose what you want to see, when you want to see it, each day in your port of call. Now, this is a small thing, but I want to highlight it because, again, I know that if you're used to cruising, you're used to paying for the Wi-Fi, and that's not the case on Victory. It is included. So you can connect via the Wi-Fi on board to update your Facebook, send an email back home or to your boss if you're working remotely for a week on the lakes. This is a great inclusion, and although again a small part of the vacation, a big inclusion for many folks. So I wanted to highlight that. Okay, so we've talked about what's included on the Victory cruises, but what about the vessels themselves? Now, as you can see, this slide here says Victory 1 and 2. Well, and there's only one boat, and that's because Victory 1 and 2 are exactly the same. That's right, they were built completely the same, and we've kept the wallpaper and the carpet, the arrangement, the deck plan, it's all the same. They are so similar. In fact, we only hire twins to work on board the boat. So one works on one vessel and the other works on the that's just a joke. And you can leave a comment in the chat box if you think I should cut that for the next webcast that I do. But that Victory 1 and 2 are the exact same vessels. They were built by the Delta Queen Steamboat Company back in the early 2000s, and they've been refurbished. Our company is known for spending I can't even tell you how much money on refurbishing our vessels year after year so that our boats look new and renewed all throughout the cruising season, not just at the start of the year. 202 guests, over 101 staterooms. This is truly small ship luxury cruising. And the funny thing is that even though it's a small guest capacity, these vessels are expansive to the point where you really do have the ability to move around. You're not all crammed in one space at one time. And when you talk about spaces, let's talk about where we go inside the vessel. Now, the Coastal Dining Room is our main dining venue. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner is served here. This is our main dining room. It's not a formal dining room, no tuxedos and ball gowns to eat dinner. It is country club casual, so come as you feel comfortable to enjoy a great meal curated by our culinary team, our world-renowned culinary team. And of course, our alternative dining venue is the grill. Some alfresco dining options, great floor-to-ceiling windows, a casual club style restaurant for you to enjoy. Again, this is something contemporary, fun, and again, grab a quick bite to eat. You can come and go as you please here at the grill. Now, the Compass Lounge is a little bit of a multi-purpose area, shows at night, lectures during the day. Sometimes we have some activities here, tea services, and I mean, the things that happen on board our boats throughout the entire fleet are so expansive. Lots of great games, lots of fun. You can spend a day ashore, or some guests choose to stay on the boat because our cruise staff really goes above and beyond to make your experience memorable from morning to night. And at night, the tavern comes alive. Karaoke some nights. The band plays almost every night, a small set. This is a great social lounge. Again, great views of the beautiful, majestic Great Lakes, and just an amazing. You see the dark woods and the leathers, the filigree on the furniture. This is truly an elegant experience, but uniquely created for your comfort and enjoyment. Okay, we got to talk about it, the fitness center. You got to earn those desserts. So a small fitness room on board. We also have our staff who does some activities during the week, maybe walking on the top deck or some exercise classes in the open air. Again, really a varied itinerary with some of the daily activities, things to really make you feel good. And when you feel good, the most, or at least my wife tells me, is when she goes to the spa and I pay for it. But the spa and salon services on board Victory, Jeannie can help you pre-book those once you pick your excursion or pick your cruise date, I should say. Spa and salon services on board both the Victory 1 and Victory 2. Okay, so we're relaxing. Now, there's no better way to relax than on the sun deck. I mean, some great covered areas that are on the top deck, some lounge chairs. Again, we have waiters who come up and serve, make their rounds during the day. Just an amazing way to see the natural wonders that are the Great Lakes. Oh, there's one of the covered areas too. I forgot that was in there. This is just, again, comfort, style, contemporary relaxation as you cruise all the majestic Great Lakes. And with weather like this, I think we could still squeeze out a couple of days out on the sun deck. Okay, so we're going to move quickly here through the staterooms. Now we've got 5 or 6 different categories of staterooms from the owner suite here, triple occupancy possible. You see great light flooding in, some of the leather furnishings, the dark woods, exudes class. But we've got some other great opportunities too, like their category AA, again, the iridescent wallpapers, the built-in cabinets and armoires. There's lots of great categories available to you, so you can have the accommodations of your choosing. And we do encourage family travel, so we've got connecting staterooms as well. So lots of great things all on board the Victory vessels for your comfort and your stateroom accommodations. Now, everyone, you're still with me. I think everyone's still with me, right, Jeannie? So when it comes to cruising the Great Lakes, well, we want to know, where are we taking you? So, of course, look at all these cities. I mean, there's just too many to list here, but that means that there's so much to discover. There is so much to see, so much to do. And even if you live up here in Michigan or Ohio or Wisconsin or Minnesota, our trips give you the inside look at some of the beautiful towns, both well-known and hidden gems that are all along the Great Lakes. I'd be remiss if I didn't say that Victory also travels in the cooler months off to New England for the fall colors. We also do some winter cruises down in the Southeast USA, Florida and Charleston, some great Southern hospitality. We even have one that goes all the way up to from Florida all the way up to the New England coast. So that's a great opportunity. And, again, when it's cold, we want to go down where it's warm. Also, some trips down to Cancun and Cozumel on a Mayan excursion. This is great Mayan ruins. Again, Jeannie knows all about it, But the focus here is really on the Great Lakes. So the great thing about the Great Lakes experience is you can choose what you want your adventure to be like, your own epic discovery. We've got several different itineraries that take you all along the Great Lakes with different opportunities to see and do all there is to see that's included on the Great Lakes. So you see some of the highlights of the destinations there. You see some of the opportunities that await you. And the first that we'll talk about is from Chicago to Niagara Falls. This is the shortest of our opportunities, a 9-day cruise starting in Chicago, going up Lake Michigan over to Mackinac, hitting Detroit, Cleveland, and ending in Niagara Falls. Now, you can also go the opposite direction. I should mention that all these itineraries are available either direction. So this is the shortest, Chicago to Niagara, a great way to spend a week on the Great Lakes. Here you're touching Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, and Lake Erie, 3 of the 5 Great Lakes. So say you want to go a little longer, you want to do something that's really going to get you to all 5 Great Lakes, both in the U.S. and Canada. This is the trip for you, Chicago to Toronto. You see, this trip also includes Sault Ste. Marie, where you go through the Soo Locks. You dip your toe in Lake Superior over in Whitefish Bay, head over to Little Current, which is, we partake in a native tribal ceremony with the dancing and the drums. It really is culturally immersive. I'm getting chills. It's one of my favorite experiences on all the boats and ships that we have in our fleet, both in America and in Canada. That's one of my favorite excursions. Head down to Detroit and over to Cleveland, Niagara, do the Hornblower Catamaran, and of course end in Toronto, the beautiful, picturesque city. And finally, there's Chicago to Montreal. So again, go up through the Thousand Islands and head all the way up to, I think I lost my screen there. Oh, head all the way up to Montreal, see the best of that the French Canadians have to offer. I should also mention that this also stops in Muskegon, which again, everyone knows about President Gerald Ford. He was born in Grand Rapids, so that the excursion that day takes you over to see the Presidential Library. Lots of great opportunities to see and indulge yourself with lots of great history and cultural experiences. All right, so that's ladies and gentlemen, that is in a nutshell the experience on the Great Lakes through Victory Cruise Lines. Now, it's important in this day and age. You know, Chris did mention a couple of different points about the state of the world and travel these days. And both on behalf of Great Lakes Cruising Company and Victory Cruise Lines, we want you to feel confident in your decision to make that booking for 2021. On the Great Lakes, seeing all the majesty and wonder there is. And what I want to do mention that again, we are part of, we were purchased by American Queen Steamboat Company back in 2018, and we are part of a larger company called Hornblower Holdings. Now, Hornblower Holdings operates vessels all over the world. Some of the Spirit cruises, the dinner boats, or the Hornblower dinner boats that you might have wherever you may be. We operate the Niagara cruise that we take on the Victory trips. We have vessels all over the world. So we're not simply based in overnight cruising as some of the other ocean or river suppliers are held in. We operate all kinds of things, government and military contracts. So you can feel confident that yes, in 2021, we will be here. And of course, you're going to be there too. So we want to make sure you're safe and comfortable along your trip. We partner with Ochsner Health, who's one of the leading healthcare providers in Middle America, along the Mississippi River and northbound. Ochsner Health is providing some great things like telehealth services, complimentary to our guests on our boats. We've implemented a lot of different cleaning and sanitizing protocols. I was actually visiting the boats a couple of weeks ago, and we're actually one of the first companies to actually install hand washing stations, very elegant hand washing stations outside of our dining facilities and dining venues. So, you know, again, the ability for you to feel comfortable, clean, and spaced comfortably and socially aware is all there as part of our safety measures. We have a comprehensive guide. I think Jeannie has it that she can send to you if you're interested. And Jeannie, if I have not sent that to you, I'll make sure I get that over to you so you can send to all of our great friends here today.
All righty.
Yeah, the last thing I want to talk about is our risk-free booking. Right now, Jeannie's going to maybe mention this a little bit further, but I just wanted to make a quick note that we've got a great policy, risk-free booking. That is, you make your reservation through Jeannie and you can cancel it. And there's some terms, and Jeannie will talk about that. But it's truly a risk-free. It's a refund. It's not a credit. It's not a voucher. It's not something in the cloud. It really is a refund. So Jeannie will talk a little bit more about the policy and its expiration, but it's good for all of our offerings on the Great Lakes and the rivers. So again, another great assurance that you can feel comfortable making your booking through Jeannie and all the great team over at Great Lakes Cruising Company. And now back to you, Jeannie.
Oh, Matt, thank you for that fantastic information on Victory. And it looks like we do have a couple of questions.
All right.
It looks like one is on, can you travel solo on these ships? Well, yes, you can. You can travel as a single person. There aren't any per se single cabins, but we do have some single occupancy pricing. Right now that's running at 200%, but if you apply the early booking discounts, you can actually get like 2 discounts. Let's see, another one would be gratuities. Are gratuities included?
That's a great question, Jeannie. So gratuities not included with your cruise fare. So I did mention pretty much all of the onboard amenities included except for gratuities. And that's something you can prepay through Jeannie when she books you, or you can pay on board. Definitely some ways to customize the amount of gratuities you give on board. And as a former crew member myself, I have to say that we appreciate every little bit that comes in, both big and small, because at the end of the day, our crews, it's one of the things I did want to mention, Jeannie, is that we give those, I think every cruise line does it. We give these surveys at the end, how did you like the food in this venue? What was the entertainment like? What was your feedback on that? The highest rated amenity that we get on our cruise surveys is the crew. And that's not to say that the food is not a 9.3 and that the entertainment's not a 9.2 out of 10, but the crew rating is always in the 9.5 plus or 9.6, 9.7. And it's really because our crew love getting to know you. Only 200 guests on board at maximum occupancy. Your stateroom attendant, your waiter, even the captain. I mean, our captains are known to sing
Yes.
karaoke, on Saturday nights, or play the guitar in the lounge. So really, you becomes like a family, an extended family, and especially in these times, why not create a new group for yourself to correspond with, to take these moments in the common areas or at the dinner table to enjoy and get to know. It's really amazing. So the crew is there, and they're working hard for those gratuities, and you're able to pay them in many different ways.
Well, I have to agree with you on the staff. I've sailed on both the Victory 1 and the Victory 2, and they are fabulous. They know your name by the second day. They know what kind of drink you like. They anticipate your every need before you even know you have it. So they are fantastic. And you're right, the captain, you see the captain and he knows your name, and you'll see him in the lounge or just walk promenade and friendly, and will always take a minute to speak with you. So yeah, the staff is fantastic. So, well, I think that we have to wrap it up a little. We have one. We can take one more question. The question is the ship wheelchair accessible?
Yes.
Do you want to take that one, or you want me to?
Sure. Yeah. One of the things we pride ourselves in, but with the Victory Cruise Lines and American Queen Steamboat Company, is being accessible friendly. So our not only do we have accessible staterooms, many of the common areas are made for ease of access and enjoyment and comfort. Our motor coaches have chair lifts. So a lot of our tours are made and designed to be able to accommodate. Now, of course, there are some experiences that are limited with walking, with the strenuous walking amounts, like in the Cleveland excursion over to the Amish farm. So there's just so many opportunities though that we really do welcome everyone and anyone to enjoy themselves in comfort and relaxation. And of course, we always want to mention our elevators, right, Jeannie?
Right.
We even though we're discovering America, North America, Canada of yesteryear, these are modern vessels. We're not sending a telegraph off to our loved ones to make sure the cat is still doing okay while we're away or anything like that. So yep, elevators, accessible. It's all there, all for your comfort and enjoyment.
All right. Well, it looks like we do have a couple other questions, but I will follow up with you directly, personally. And I think, Chris, you have a couple of words you'd like to say.
Yeah, just a few words. Again, it was a good 22 years ago that we ventured down this path of forming the Great Lakes Cruise Company. And actually, when these two ships were being built and were being designed, we were some of the consultants on what the passengers would like as it relates to a Great Lakes cruise. Because I think all of you listening are probably experienced cruisers, and you have been on big vessels and small vessels. You've been in the Mediterranean, Alaska, maybe even Antarctica. So the Great Lakes is a surprising destination. And the way these ships were designed to have all that outdoor space, covered and not covered, and so many of the cabins with large windows, on the Great Lakes, we're hugging the shoreline a lot of the way. Maybe there's a couple of runs from Chicago on up north on Lake Michigan where we might be hard to see the shoreline because these lakes are so vast. But they are the perfect vessels to experience the Great Lakes. And my personal favorites, Matt showed a couple of the itineraries, but going up the Detroit River is just a real experience itself because the city skyline of Detroit is magnificent. And then once you get up into Lake Huron, you're up into some of the most beautiful waters. People come from all over the world to sail in the Georgian Bay, 40,000 islands, up through Manitoulin Island. And then to get to Sault Ste. Marie, it's the St. Mary's River. There are times when you are on the Victory 1 or Victory 2, and you are cruising up the river that you cannot see water. You look to the left, you look to the right, it's shoreline. The rivers are that narrow, but you're on a cruise ship. So it's just a marvelous experience that's unexpected when somebody gets on a cruise. We never have a disappointed customer. So, and on top of that, we've been doing this so long, we are the experts in doing this. And at least on my screen, Jeannie, you're in the middle, and there's nobody on the planet that knows the logistics of a Great Lakes cruise, the ports of call, all the ins and outs of getting to Chicago, Montreal, Toronto, Detroit, the transfers that might be needed, the extra time you may want to spend in these cities. Nobody knows the Great Lakes and these ships better than Jeannie. A little self-serving for me to say, but it's the truth. So she is a wealth of information. And when you're ready to book that trip for next year or even the year after, give Jeannie a shout. You will love talking with Jeannie. As you can tell, she's got nothing but personality. So again, we want to thank you. And Jeannie, I'll let you wrap it up.
All right. Well, Chris, thank you. Thank you for those kind words. And Matt, thank you so much for educating us today on Victory Cruise Lines. As a special thank you to our guest attending, all the Great Lakes Cruise passengers will receive a special $50 onboard credit for during their sailing. And we'll also be drawing 5 lucky winners to receive a gift bag from Victory Cruise Lines. And I'll go ahead and contact each of the winners for your mailing information. And just wanted to remind you to receive the $50 onboard credit for Great Lakes Cruise Company passengers. Some of the risk-free booking offer and the early bird discounts. I just want to remind people that those do need to be booked October 30th. We hope you enjoyed today. We want to thank you so much for joining us for our very first virtual cruise night. Thank you all and be well.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.